So I went to see the cardiologist, and he told me that I had stage 4 heart failure. He said, there's nothing that we can do, but I want to do a left and right cardiac catheterization on you, where they run the wire up through the femoral artery into the heart. And he said, this is basically going to tell you how much longer you've got. I had already written a letter telling my husband goodbye, and that was the hardest thing that I've had to do. And I thought, okay, in 3 days, I'm pretty much going to know how much longer I have to live. And the thought that went through my mind is, I want somebody to pray with me, and I want it to be somebody that I know and I love. I was in the Miss Arkansas pageant, played classical piano for my talent, but my joy was playing for the church, playing in the church. I was maybe 15. I was very, very young, and my pastor was Pastor Jerry Price, and his wife, Sister Ann. They had a lovely little daughter, Missy, who I used to babysit. They knew about my heart failure. So I called Sister Ann, and I said, could you put the phone on speaker and put Pastor on? And they started praying, and as they were praying, I had my phone up to my ear. All of a sudden, I felt this warm sensation go through my heart, and it startled me because I had felt many, many things in my heart. I felt pain, I felt pressure, I felt it pounding out of my chest, but I've never felt a warm sensation go through my heart. It was very pleasant, very startling, but very pleasant, and it actually distracted me from him praying, because I'm thinking, wow, what's going on? But then I went back to listening to him pray, and I didn't think that much about it. So they ended the prayer. They told me how much they loved me, and they said, call me Monday and let me know what the doctor has to say. So I decided to go upstairs to my bedroom and do some things. For the first time in about 2 years, I was able to walk upstairs without stopping midway and having to either sit down or hold on and catch my breath. And I thought, this is pretty cool. I'm going to make the bed. And normally, if I would so much as lift a bag of groceries, I would break out in a sweat. My heart would start pounding. But I was doing fine. I made the bed, and then all of a sudden it hit me that God had just healed my heart, and that I had just felt the hand of God touch my heart. And I started praising God and worshiping Him and crying and thanking Him. So I stopped taking all of my heart medications, and I was on about 4 different heart medications. That weekend was awesome. I went to church. I felt great. I'm doing everything. I felt like the Kelly that I had been years and years ago. So Monday, I went into the catheterization, and there was no fear. My doctor was Hindu, and he came over and he looked down at me, and he was scowling at me and staring at me like I had grown a second head. And then he was pacing around the room, and then he was staring at me again. And he came back and he said, Dr. Arnold, the reason I'm late is I just went back through your medical records, and you have had 4 echocardiograms. 9 doctors confirmed that you've had 3 heart attacks, that you were in stage 4 heart failure, you had liver failure, you were in stage 2 kidney failure, you had pancreatitis. He said, we got in there and there was nothing wrong with your heart. And he said, we have no medical explanation for what happened. He said, it's like somebody put a new heart in your chest. He said, I don't know what happened. There is no medical explanation for this. I said, well, doctor, I do have an explanation. Friday, my God healed my heart. And again, he looked at me like I had two heads, and he paced around the room, and finally he came over and he looked down at me and he said, "You know, I guess I'm going to have to accept it because we have no medical explanation for what happened." I left the hospital rejoicing, went home, and I felt fine. The liver failure was gone, the kidney failure was gone, everything was healed. And so I'm living a new life.